OK, let's get analysis on this from Sami Al-Arian, who's the director of the Centre for Islam and Global Affairs at Istanbul Sabahattin Zaim University. Appreciate you coming on. Let's just start with this incident then of the post of the UN Peacekeepers, their gates broken down by an Israeli tank. Israel's explanation that it was just rescuing injured troops and accidentally broke down. I mean, it sounds ridiculously implausible, doesn't it? Do you give it any credibility?
No, of course not. What happens here is that Israel has not been able to achieve any of its objectives, not in Gaza and not in Lebanon. They thought that they have degraded Hezbollah's power and that they would be able to advance as far as they could throughout the south, possibly even to the Litani River, but they haven't been able to go 1 inch. Part of the Israeli military doctrine, when they are in trouble, is to do something called escalation dominance. And by that, I mean they escape forward. So what they're trying to do here is to put more pressure on the international community. And of course, by hitting the UN peacekeepers, that's exactly what they're trying to do, is to involve more players on the ground so that they get involved and try to achieve Israel's objectives. But here again, they will not be able to do that because Hezbollah has not surrendered. And it's not true, by the way, that Hezbollah has accepted 1701 based on the previous agreements. Hezbollah has said all along, it hasn't changed, that they will only stop their attacks on northern Israel or allow the settlers to go back north until the war in Gaza stops.
The impression that Israel gives through its actions is that it's pushing further into Lebanese territory, that it wants to clear out that area. And the fact now that it is telling the UN, you need to remove your peacekeepers from that area. It seems like Israel's now treating the UN peacekeepers like it treats enemy combatants. How is it getting away with that?
They've always got away with that. This is not the first time. They got away with it throughout the 80s. They always attacked other UN peacekeepers at the time, and they always get away with it. They've never been held accountable to any infringement, to any violation of any law or hitting anyone. And in that, there's nothing new here. The United States has been protecting Israel all along. But I think what's happening here is profound, because Hezbollah has been telling Israel, why didn't you come in? We're ready for you. And it's Israel who's been hesitating to come in because they're afraid that Hezbollah is as powerful as it has been, that whatever they've done to them the past few weeks has not really degraded their capacity to fight back and actually inflict such harm that we've seen tonight on them. That would be man-to-man combat, and they don't want to do that.
And the events that we've seen tonight with the Iron Dome system penetrated and the latest numbers, and it's probably going to rise, more than 60 Israelis injured with that drone striking through into central Israel. I mean, we've seen penetrations before, but I mean, will this be of concern for the Israeli leadership?
Absolutely. And they know all along that the situation from the north, from Hezbollah, is not a game, because we're not talking about hours and hours of flights for these drones or even the missiles. We're talking about mere minutes. And if they miss them, they miss them. That means there's going to be a hit, not a miss. And when we talk about Iran, okay, you have several hours to consider, to ponder, to get your radar, and so on and so forth. But when it comes from Lebanon, it's much more dangerous.
Sami Al-Arian is my guest from the Centre for Islam and Global Affairs. Appreciate it.
Thank you.